Hello, I'm Dr. Shoshana Garfield, and if you have anything challenging coming up in your life and that you're afraid to face or have anxiety or are nervous about it, then today you're going to discover how to face it with so much calm that the anxiety and the nervousness just disappear and you get far better results than you ever thought possible. What we're talking about really is something called resiliency. Resiliency is often defined as what it's like to just kind of bounce back from stuff. But here's the thing, the unconscious mind has no idea about the difference between what's quote-unquote real out in the world or what you're imagining. So all your thoughts about the calamities in your head, the unconscious mind experiences as real. And as Mark Twain said, my life is full of absolute catastrophes that have never happened. And so what we're going to talk about is how to reduce those catastrophes. And really it's about your thinking. And there are two main steps to this. One is to recognize that this is your thinking. So when you think, okay, I've got this test, or I've got this job interview, or I've got this big discussion with my spouse, whatever it is, you're already making a catastrophe out of it. You're already thinking of the worst possible case scenarios and putting that into your system in ways that generate adrenal responses and all kinds of flight and fright responses, etc. You don't need it. The first thing to do is to recognize that it's your thinking. Recognize it, that you're making yourself stressed about it. No one else is doing it to you but you. And if you're wondering if what I'm saying is true, just think back to the last time that you were really stressing out about something, and actually at the end of it you were like, what was I making such a big fuss about? And there may be times when you were stressed about something, it came out even worse than you could possibly imagine. The fact is there is absolutely zero link between the stress you have and a negative outcome in terms of your thought. What can happen if you're really stressed, imagine going to a job interview. This happened recently. Go into a job interview really stressed, really nervous, and see what kind of impression you make and how likely you are to get the job. I've recently helped two friends with their job interviews. We don't know how the second one wound up, but I just got a text a few minutes before making this video that she doesn't even care anymore if she gets or not, because she knows she did so well there. She's so proud of herself. And she was so nervous before that she was thinking of even taking the day off because she just couldn't cope with her thoughts about the interview. But she was so calm, she was able to go into work, have a nice full day of it, and just have a nice day. Go in, slide into the interview, and have a good time. She aced it. Who knows what's going to happen? The thing is, she had a much better time of it. The other person I helped, by the way, did get the job, and he was so relaxed in it and did so well that they told him practically on his way out the door that he got it. If you think that stress and worry helps you get better outcome, think again. What stress does to your body and to your brain is actually reduce your access to your best resources. Keeps you from resting fully. It keeps you from thinking as straight as you could otherwise. There's a big difference between stress and pressure. There are inevitably pressures we have. Time pressures, deadlines, things like that. But that's simply pressure. There's no emotional load to it. It just is. But stress is the emotional negativity that people often put onto pressure and make things far worse for themselves, with far worse outcomes, actually, than otherwise might have been. If my friend hadn't calmed down before the interview, she would have gone on all uptight. Who knows what would happen? She certainly wouldn't have had the good time she had today. So I want to move on to step 2. First is to recognize that it's you doing it to you. Pressure and stress are separate. Say goodbye to the stress. The pressure is what it is. How to do that? If you've seen my videos before, you know I'm going to be talking about something called emotional freedom technique and tapping. That's what I did with my friend yesterday. There are lots of videos on YouTube. I have lots of products available and videos as well describing the points. What I did yesterday with my friend is we had 2 rounds, and I'll give you a practical demonstration now. She was really nervous about her interview, so I asked her what that meant. So it was butterflies and sweaty palms. So we tapped. Even though I've got these butterflies and sweaty palms, I'm still a good person, and I'm good enough. Even though I've got these butterflies and sweaty palms, rated from a scale of 0 to 10 about a 7, I'm good enough. Even though I've got these butterflies and sweaty hands, I'm good enough. And you do this initial setup 3 times. You say your statement 3 times, and then you move on to the points. So, moving on to the points: anxiety, nervousness, butterflies in my stomach, sweaty hands, at about a 7. Butterflies, nervousness, sweaty hands, at about a 7. Just do that. It's a quick run. And breathe. Breathe into your belly. If you find yourself going, breathe right into your belly. Forget this bit. Breathe deep into your belly. Calms down your system. Makes a huge difference. We brought her down to the point where she was able to ace that interview, no matter what the result. And we only feel stress when we think the outcome is important in particular ways. Of course, things are important, and whatever you're worrying about, the nature of thought is for you to think that's really, really important. The problem, however, is thinking that the outcome of whatever it is you're stressing about has an impact on your well-being. So somebody might think, oh, I've got to get that job, I've got to get the job, or I'm a failure, or I won't be able to have the life I want, or doors will close to me forever, or whatever it is for you, whatever story you're telling yourself. The thing is that no matter what happens, your well-being is completely intact. And you could care about things and consider them important without getting emotionally entangled in them. That's the difference. The difference between pressure and stress, remember. So it's very easy to get caught up in the stress and pretend that stress and pressure are the same thing. But when you release the stress and just deal with whatever is at hand, you've got more available from inside of you to do it really, really well. And when you allow yourself to access your resources and do things well, chances are you're going to get better outcome. It just makes sense, doesn't it? It's just common sense. So put down your stress and your worry. Deal with the pressures at hand. And very best wishes. Bye for now.